Darkness kills, destroys the will. Find a spark, make hearts thrill. Hear the tales of time so grim. Shine a light, don't let it dim. Heather Brown downtown, bound. True crime story she's found. In the shadows, secret stay. Need a light that finds the way.
Welcome back to another episode of Defeating the Darkness, True Crime Stories with Downtown Heather Brown. That's me, your host. I'm a former homicide and sexual assault prosecutor. And today I have with me Tiffany, who I just love and adore. And I know you're going to love and adore her too. Tiffany and I met at a Christmas party, and she is a survivor, not a victim, a survivor of human trafficking. She's going to tell her story and tell us about all the amazing things she does now, today, and after she climbed her way out of the darkest places. She's shining a light in other people's lives, and she has a whole entire new hair and body cream lotion line that I'm promoting for her, called Fearless Beauty. And she donates the proceeds from her, not all of them, because she's got to make a living, you guys, but she donates some of her proceeds to anti-human trafficking. So we're here to talk to Tiffany today and hear her story and break it down and have some fun. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Heather.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to promote your product line. I use her product line, and especially the hairline. She has this fabulous hydrating leave-in conditioner that I use for my hair, and I'm loving it. It's called Fearless Beauty. And we're going to give you the links and everything later. But right now, we're going to talk to Tiffany and find out all about how she came to have this hair product line and beauty line and what you're doing. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. Okay, so Tiffany, you and I, we met, and I just immediately thought you were a darling. And I met two of your children. You have two small children, and who are, well, your one older daughter, she's 8, 9? How
9.
old? She's 9, and she is a firecracker.
Yes.
She was so funny, and I just thought she was darling, and I loved her. And so I was immediately drawn to you. And then we met a couple other parties. Yes. And it was actually for like a survivor event. And from there, we just started chatting, and you told me about your hairline. So I went to, I think, an event that you were selling your stuff, right?
Yes.
And then we just became friends.
Yes.
And I never really knew your story until we met for lunch a couple of weeks ago. And when I heard your story, I was blown away. I really was. It touched me deeply. I knew that you were a survivor of human trafficking, but I didn't know any of the details. So I asked you to come on my podcast and share your story with the listeners. And so, because I really want to bring awareness to this topic. And not only that, like, I want to support your business, and I want to support you and just lift you up, because I think you're amazing. And I know the listeners will too. So let's just get to you. Okay. So tell me start with your backstory. Tell me like you did at lunch the other day.
Okay.
And I might interject and ask you questions. I'm sorry if I interrupt.
Oh, it's okay.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, I have questions that I want to know.
And it's perfect, because sometimes I forget to fill in the holes, you guys. So bear with me. So I was born in Compton, California. I was born to an incarcerated mother. My mom had drug issues. She was also prostituting to support her habits. She had lovely children. She had about 5 to 6 of us. We're trying to confirm the 6th one at this moment. So we're working on that. I was put into foster care at birth due to her being incarcerated. I went to a foster home, and I went with a wonderfully complex woman. And from there, my life just kind of got interesting. I was raised to be a girl's man, if I can say it like that. I think that's the best way I can describe that, is to be a girl's man. And my mom was like, you don't have to be educated, but you do have to be pretty. You need to be thin. And you have to know how to cook, clean, and cook, clean, and suck dick. Okay, that's what she told me. I was probably
This is
like
your
6.
foster mom.
Yes.
Right? Tiffany, I just got to say, just hearing that, when you told me that the other day, I want to light her on fire.
Yeah.
Okay? Listen, can you imagine saying that to your baby girl?
Yeah.
Like, no. And
No.
you're the foster mom that the county has entrusted to care for you and raise you up after your mom is incarcerated and incapable of raising you. Okay. So she teaches you got to be pretty, cook, clean.
And suck dick.
Okay.
And suck dick. And that is something, and it had to be about between 6 and 8 at this time. Very young, very definitely in
6 and
elementary.
8 years old, and she's saying this year?
Yeah, very definitely in middle school.
All right, somebody bring me some gasoline and matches. I mean, for reals. For reals.
Yes. And it was just very interesting because not only that, my mom.
Is she still alive?
No, she actually passed when I was 24.
Where's she buried? I want to spit on her grave.
You know what? We sprinkled her in the ocean.
Okay.
'Cause that's the best we could. I was going to flush her. I'm not going to lie. Because
Sorry, my cackle. That must have been loud, but that was hysterical.
the animosity, God had to work on my heart for her. God really had to work on my soul. I think it was to the point my soul despised her. You ever made a soul angry? I don't know, because I had one. Because she was because it was like, the way I seen it was, okay, my mom was already incapable. You were supposed to protect me. You throw in house parties. First time I was sexually assaulted, I was a child. And it was so bad to where my mind kind of blacked out. And it was like 2 people. And I'm in my home. And I'm being sexually assaulted in my home.
By 2 men?
Yeah. Got passed some type of
men.
drink. I don't know. I just remember my mom used to give us liquor at a very young age, me and my little
And when
brother.
you're saying your mom, you mean your foster mom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is a habit because, I was raised to call her mom. She's like, no, I'm your mom because I take care of you because nobody else wanted you.
Yeah. If I take care of you, mean pimp me out to other people.
Yeah.
Where are the matches? Okay. I'm sorry. I got to stop being
Where
so
are the
angry.
matches?
But I'm angry about that. Okay.
Yeah, because it's just sick.
Finish your story. I'm so sorry. Okay. So how old were you when she had a house party and you were sexually assaulted?
I had to be about 7, 8 the first time. There was another incident. I was very young. I had to be about 4. And we had she had a boyfriend at the time, and it was more like molestation versus full blown sexual assault. He used to teach me oh, you sit on my lap and you rub your genitals against my leg. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
What the fuck?
yeah, that's a sexual assault, honey. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But I know like in especially in women's minds and children's mind, well, he didn't penetrate me, so it
it's
wasn't,
not.
but it's still sexual assault.
Now he died taking out the trash.
That guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to
Can
watch
we
it.
spit
I
on
was
his
6.
grave too?
I don't know where he at.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I got to watch it.
Okay. Him die?
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds like a story.
He was taking out the trash. I was 6. He just fell to the curb.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah. He died of alcohol cirrhosis of the liver, some shit like
cirrhosis.
that. But that's because him and my mom used to drink like freaking skunks. When I say all day, every day, go to bed, wake up, sun up, sundown. There was no breaks. They're poor livers.
Okay, so your foster mom's an alcoholic.
Yes.
She's got her alcoholic boyfriend over. He molests you. He's having you rub your genitals on his leg, and then he kicks over while he's taking out the trash.
Yep.
Should have just stuffed him in the trash can.
and rode him to the dump.
Sent him out the way.
And rode him to the dump.
Rode him to the dump. Take him to the train station like they do in Yellowstone, right?
Yeah, where he belongs. So then, 10 rolls around, and then that's why I first experienced 8-10. I first experienced a sexual assault. And then after that,
That's the 2 guys at mom's party.
Yeah, that was 2 guys at mom's party. And then after that, she knew. And then things just start getting weird from there, right? So after she knew that, I no longer had purity or innocence, as she likes to put it, she was like, well, your value went down because of the assault. Well,
like
she didn't call it
basically,
assault.
you're not a virgin, so I can't sell you for as much.
Yeah, so I can't bid you to the highest bidder. Because her thing was, Tiffany, you got to cook, clean, and suck dick so you can go to the highest bidder. And you got to stay slim. So I made sure to get chunky. I don't give a fuck. This is the reason why I'm chunky now. Anyway,
I think you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And I have no problem. And people love it. Anyway. And she started to take me over to family events. There was a particular uncle that I would never forget. His name was Uncle Carlos. And there was an aunt named Auntie Jill. And these 2 people, they were just real creepy. Uncle Carlos was very infatuated with me. Even though I was a child, he would pick me up and hold me. My mom used to force me to go with him. Yeah, Tiffany, go with him. He's fine. It's fine. He can take care of you. It's fine. My auntie Jill, she was a female pedophile. You know that? Do you know how strange that is to run across a female pedophile?
It is strange because, you know, I was a sexual assault prosecutor for 10 years and I came across, I'd say 3.
Yeah. I was like, it's not a common occurrence.
No.
I was like, so, you know, and she used to make me perform oral sex to her, or she used to do it to me. That's that. Uncle Carlos, my mind has blacked out so much, and these are parts of trauma that I can't remember. I just remember being forced into rooms with him, and I just don't remember.
Good.
For that. And you know what? That's God protecting me, because once I remembered what Auntie Jill to me, I lost it. God was like, we ain't showing you nothing else. And I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we can block that out. Let's just leave all of that.
In the repressed memory.
Well, the mind is a powerful thing, Tiffany, and it does protect us when there's something that's so traumatic we just can't handle that.
Yeah.
So what you've already told us is like most people probably couldn't handle that. And I know you have way more to tell.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine.
That wasn't even the tip yet. That was like the
that's
the base.
That's just the introduction to the crazy things that this amazing, beautiful woman has had to suffer in her life. And gosh, you are such a fighter and a survivor. Please go on. Oh, I'll shut up.
So then, it got to the point where the abuse was so profound. I ended up leaving the home. So at that point, I became a track star. I was a runner. I had to go.
How old were you?
12, 13 years old. I just started running. She also started experiencing like dementia symptoms because I don't know if I mentioned it, she was also a dinosaur. Okay. She was around when Harriet Tubman and let the slaves out. Okay. She was old, you guys. No, I'm kidding. You're not that old. She was born like 1923. That's still old.
No, she was pretty old.
That's pretty old. I mean,
I thought you were going to say like 1970. I was like, ouch, Tiffany, that's how old.
No, we're talking about the 20s. We're talking about the rolling 20s.
Oh, okay. So she was old.
Yeah, we're talking about Great
you're
Depression.
a baby. So, she was old.
Yeah, she was about 70 when she got me. First of all, who the hell did that? Who did that? Who in the system did that? But then I found out my adoption was illegal. Now that just gets crazy. That's a whole different topic. Anyway.
Okay, that's a whole nother story.
Well, the placement was illegal. That's a whole different topic.
The county placed a baby. I'm guessing you were a baby?
Mm-hmm. Newborn.
A newborn, 2 days old, with a 70-year-old woman.
Yes.
Oh, shame on them.
Shout out to Los Angeles County.
Yeah. Burn that down, plays down too. Okay, are you serious?
So serious. I wish I was kidding. I wish.
And she was like pimping you out to the highest. Okay, so go on.
So then I decided to go on a run for her. I went to another a guardianship.
When you say run, you ran, physically ran.
Yeah, I'm talking about it got to points where I used to sneak out of windows. I remember I walked, so I grew up on 169th Street in Avalon. I walked to Western and King. First of all, that's a stretch. I remember I left the house at 10 a.m. I didn't get to my destination till like 10 a.m. the next morning. It was 12 hours just walking, just mindlessly walking. And then I actually went to my auntie Renee's house because I thought she was my friend. So I went, they called my mom and they took me right back to her. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then, I ended up going with a guardianship to a friend's house. But, that wasn't that great either. The children of the friend used to like traumatize me and like blame me for shit I wasn't even fucking doing because one of her daughters was a bitch. One of her daughters. Anyway, horrible. So I ended up running away from there. And then that's when my first human trafficking experience.
So you go and stay with a friend and her family and they're terrorizing you.
Terrible.
And then you flee from there.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm probably about 12. 12, maybe turning 13.
Are you like going to school during any of this?
Oh, no. So my mom, due to her thought of, you don't have to be educated, you just got to be pretty and, provide and make sure the man's taken care of. I stopped going to school in about the end of 6th grade. So from 6th to 8th, I'm missing education. And then I also missed, due to running away, I also missed 9th grade. So I didn't pick up my education till my 10th grade year. Okay. Still graduated on time though, because I put in that work. I'm getting that high school diploma. I don't care.
Oh, I love
and I'm
that.
walking with everybody. So I was missing a tremendous amount of education by the time. It was so bad they was like, girl, we're going to give you an IEP. We're going to put you in this class because there's no way you'll be able to catch up and function with the other kids. Because it was just, that educational gap was just so big. I'm on the run. I end up in Lancaster, went from Lancaster to California City. If you don't know where California City is, that is in Timbuktu.
How'd you get to Lancaster?
That was where the guardianship, at first she was in Compton. The house had mold, so she moved to Lancaster. So she took me and her
This is
kid.
your mom, the 7-year-old mom?
No, this is the guardianship mom. Okay. A friend's mom.
So your friend's mom got guardianship of you.
Yeah.
And so the friend's mom, the one that you said that the siblings were terrorizing you?
Yeah.
She got guardianship of you, and then she moved to Lancaster, and she still had guardianship of you. Was she doing anything shady to you?
No, but she was letting her kids bully and abuse me in a sense. Okay. I know one of them pushed me down a flight of stairs. The other one will put toothpaste in my hair gel. Somebody planted their mom's thong in my damn underwear drawer. I got accused for that. One of her daughters was rather large. She was rather large. And, I have been about this size since about 12, 13 years old. I've been 2-something to do something. But she was like 3-something to do something, Okay. And they used to like body shame me in a way of, oh, you're as big as her, but I'm not. I was like, but I'm not. I was like, you're a 22, I'm a 14. That's not the same. It's not the same. And just stuff like that. So luckily there was no sexual abuse there, but there was a lot of emotional and mental abuse.
That's sometimes just as
worse. Yeah.
It really is. Because as you know, I just talked about this with last guest that I had on. Your mind is where everything happens. Right? When you're sexually abused, like your body can heal from, the physical trauma, but the fear, the shame, the horror, the betrayal, the confusion, all of those things that are happening to a young person or an older person, and then the crime replays in your mind and your safety and all those things. It's psychological trauma, whether it's in the form of bullying, overbearing parents, depressed parent, whatever it is, it fucks with your mind.
Yeah. And nobody talks about how bad and how it stunts the mind too. Because then, where the point of trauma is where the brain kind of resides for a while. If you become traumatized or you experience trauma at 12, you have a 12-year-old brain until you're able to move on from that. So you're moving in ways of like, yeah, I'm a full grown woman, but my point of trauma was 12. So then mentally and emotionally, I'm a 12-year-old because I got stunted somehow. Like it's
100%.
Yeah, it's just
100%.
crazy.
Oh my gosh. All right. So now you're with the guardian mom from the one that we've already flushed down the toilet in our brains, in our souls. And the guardian mom moves to Lancaster, and you're being emotionally traumatized there. And then you flee there. Yes. And you go to where?
I flee there, and I actually fled on foot.
California City.
Yeah, and somehow I think I took a bus. I just know I was on feet, but I ended up in California City, out of all places. And I just remember I was walking, and at this point, as we all know, I am able to walk some miles. Okay, I'm able to walk some hours. So I was just walking from sun up to sundown. It was about 10 o'clock, and I run across this house. And they was having like a party. So, the house is on the right side. I'm on the left side. And they was like, hey, like somehow they see me. How do you see me? There's no light here. Anyway, minimal street light. So they see me. They told me to come over. I'm exhausted. 12-year-old child, I'm exhausted. They told me to come over. Hey, what are you doing? You want to come hang out with us? Again, I was exhausted. So I said, okay. So I ended up being at their home up until the point.
Are these like men?
Yeah, men. There was a lot of men, a couple of women, a couple of children.
Okay.
And then
are they like partying in the garage?
Yeah, they're partying in the garage, drinking, smoking, casual.
Hanging out in?
Yeah. I was about to say something else, but that would have been prejudice.
No, you can say it. This is my podcast. You can say whatever you want, Tiffany.
Casual black people stuff. Smoking, drinking, playing dice.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff, things that we would do.
Till it's not fun.
Yeah, things we would do in culture, yes. And they told me
You do know that white people drink, smoke, and play dice too.
They do?
Well, we play more like dominoes.
Okay, we play bones.
But yeah.
Oh, see, okay, I might be culturally insensitive.
No, well,
I really need to expand my horizon.
You do. You need to come party with the white people.
Yeah.
We're fun too. We're fun people, Tiffany. Just for the record.
Okay, I need to expand my horizon to see what's happening on the other side.
I'm just messing. That's so funny. I'm pretty sure like every race drinks and smokes and plays dice.
See, I think society like warped my mind so bad about my own culture. I'm just prejudiced towards them. So bad. Okay.
Well, no, okay, go on. All right, next topic. Moving on. So you see these people and they're playing. Okay, so they are African American.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're hanging out and they're playing and they say, "Hey, come on over. You want to party with us?"
Pretty much. Okay. And they're like, first they ask, "How old are you?" In my mind, I should know then. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but again, homeless, 12. 13-ish, almost 13, girl, nowhere to go. I am 18 years old.
Okay, so you lied.
Definitely lied through my teethasis. Okay,
all right.
And it's like,
so
okay, yeah,
funny.
come here. Here's this Ford Loco. Do you smoke weed? That's the first time I ever tried weed, you guys. So I took a little puff, almost lost a lung. And I was like, okay, so I ended up staying for a few days. And then one day, I was asleep on the couch. And it was this guy, you can call the guy Face, had baby moms because they had like little children. And the baby moms came to me and she was like, she woke me up off the couch and she said, "Hey, I know you're not 18 and I know you're a minor. You need to leave because you're going to have to earn your stay soon." I didn't ask no questions because all I know is earn your stay and I know you a minor don't sound good. That whole sentence, I remember like just feeling like chills and like just stuff crawling up my neck because I was like, ugh. Like I got grossed out. Like ever got the ick? I got the ick. So I was like, okay. So I just hopped up and I left. And then I continued to walk. And then I ran across another girl. Her name, let's call her D. Okay. So I ran across this girl named D. D was like, "Hey, where are you going?" I was like, "I don't know." And I believe we actually went to school together because she's like, "I remember you." And I'm like, "You do?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have a brother named Vernon." And I was like, "Oh, I remember a boy named Vernon. He was really quiet. He was like a mute." He was like a mute. And we were in the same class. She's like, "Yeah, I was in Carson, California. And we were in Carson." And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, because I went to this school." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I went to this school too." And then couldn't find out we were in the same class. So me and D, I ended up going to her house. And we were there for a while. The sister knew I was there. It was kind of cool at first. And then she had an aunt and an uncle. And one day, the aunt and uncle was like, "Hey, you guys are going to come with us to Long Beach." The sister was gone, by the way.
So this is Dee's aunt and uncle.
This is Dee's aunt and uncle. And they say, "You going to come with us to Long Beach?" And I'm like, okay. So we get up and we get in the car, we get dropped off, and we get to a train station. And we took the train station up to the Union Station. And then we take the Union Station to the Blue Line. And the Blue Line is the primary line that runs down Long Beach Boulevard. So we get off the train. And he was like, "Oh, my wife is going to show you how to turn tricks because we need to make money. We need food, a room, and you guys need stuff." And that's the first time I ever turned a trick at that point. And the lady was grooming me. And I didn't want to go do it because it was weird. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, this car is going to pull up. You're going to stand right here. And this car is going to pull up. And you're going to walk up to the car and ask, 'How can I help you?'" And it was like on the backside of a Rite Aid. So they was coming down like an alley, like a side street. You're going to walk up to the car and you're like, "How can I help you?" I need to be kind of flirtatious. And she was like, "You need to make sure that you touch them so you know that they're not a cop. Because a cop won't let you touch them. So you have to grab their genitalia."
Okay, that's not true. Just for the record.
I'm just saying, because I'd have met
I know.
I had a couple of, anyway.
Wait, that's another podcast. You had a couple cops come?
Yeah.
For real?
A couple lawyers, a judge. I had a trick that was a judge.
Are you serious?
A judge. He worked out at Compton Courthouse. Anyway.
Can we burn him alive?
Yeah, because I think he's still there.
Oh, somebody's shaking in their boots right now.
I think he's still there, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If you're listening, I'm going to burn you alive. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask for your name after this is over.
And I hope they find you too, you little weirdo.
Okay.
With your abnormally small penis.
Little tiny penis judge in
tiny.
Compton. We know who you are. Going for
It was
prostitutes.
abnormally small. It was. Anyway, back to the point.
All right. This is crazy. Okay. Oh my God, Tiffany. I could talk to you for 100 hours. Okay. So yeah, I bet you got some stories. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
but let's go back to this day. You're like, what? I have to turn tricks. Did you know what turning tricks meant?
No.
Were you like, what do you mean? Like, you want me to like jump
Yeah.
through a hula hoop?
Because my child mind, like, I'm still a kid, so my child mind was like, so what do you mean? Like, turn a trick. And then she's like, catch a date. And I was like, but don't you get asked on a date? I swear that's what I told her. Because I am a child. I was like, don't you get asked on a date?
Yeah, don't they ask you to go on a
A
date?
date? Yeah,
like,
'cause I am
gonna
a
buy me some
child.
dinner.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Take me to a movie.
Something nice. Like, and she's like, no. And then she started explaining, like, walk up to the window, grab their genitalia, ask them what they want. And they forced me to go do it. And at this point, I didn't want to do it at all. And I remember I got punched in the eye. He punched me in the eye because I didn't want to go do it.
The uncle punched you in the eye?
So I had this big old nice shiner on the right side of my eye. Like, it was huge. It was a huge black eye, and it kind of went like this, kind of bridged over. And so shoot, after getting punched in the eye, you ain't about to physically hurt me again, so I'm gonna go do it. So I went to go turn the first date. And I just remember feeling so disgusted. And I've been raped before, but turning that date made me feel worse than being raped.
Oh.
Cause it was just so gross. And then the man gave me the money, and I think it was like $150. Lasted about 3 minutes.
What's his name? We'll dime him off.
He was an old ass white man.
Really?
Yeah, he was like he had to be like 70. You guys, like, he was like gray hair, Google glasses, old, even an old car. Okay, like just fossil. And the guy walked back to me. Okay, give me your money. I was like, you want me to do what?
The uncle wanted the money.
Wanted the money. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I just did this. And I'm supposed to give you the money I just did this for? Like, do you know what I just did you know what I just seen? Like, did you just...
Have you ever seen a 70-year-old
penis? Like, because I don't think you have. Like, I was like, what? And what
I
you
know
mean?
we're laughing about this. This
Yeah.
is so awful. We have to laugh, right,
Yeah,
Tiffany?
you gotta have a good sense of humor.
We got to, right?
God has humor. So.
And you have one, honey.
Yeah. I was like,
I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah, it's because I don't process so much in therapy to where, like, I don't have like a hateful soul in my body, and the only thing I can do is laugh because some of the experiences were like, girl, and I'm like, I know.
Right?
Yeah, like sometimes
I don't think you've ever seen a 70-year-old.
like some things I was just like, ugh.
I mean, no offense to any of the 70-year-olds listening.
Listen to this. No shade. Hopefully you're well endowed.
Actually, now I think about it, my husband's going to be like 63 soon. God, 7 years. We need to take this down. And then
He's gonna feel so bad. He like, I remember when you was talking about the 70-year-old penis. Oh, okay.
Right?
So, he was like, give me the money. So, reluctantly, I gave him the money. We ended up staying out there for a while, for quite some time. And, he did make sure we had food, clothes, and stuff like that. But then it finally got to the point where he's like, okay, we need to return back to California City. Now, it was already dark, but then somebody turned the lights out. Because by the time we got back to California City, one, there was me, his niece. So I mind you, he was pimping out his niece too. So me, his niece, and his wife. That's who he was pimping out, the three of us. But then there was more girls coming back with us at this time. Had to be like 6 of us. Yeah. And there was more girls coming back with us at this time. And he took us all back to California City. First of all, he took us to the house, and then he took us to the basement. Where the hell did the basement come from? In the state of California, does anybody have a basement? If somebody can comment below if they have a basement, because I really want to know.
Right? Like, how many of you have a
I have a
basement?
basement.
I had a basement. Well, that's where I was molested when I was little, was in the neighbor's basement. But I'm from back east.
Yep.
They have basements.
They have basements.
I don't think I've ever seen a basement here
in California.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it wasn't a basement. Maybe it was like a tri-level home, and then he converted the bottom to like a weird, creepy dungeon.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So
But
he brings you and these other girls in the basement?
down to the basement. And, at this point, it was the youngest one had to be like 8, 9 years old. She was a baby. And I remember when we first got there, he told us to stand by this wall. So we all stood by just a plain white wall. You know, he's like, put on your makeup, put on your lip gloss, look nice, brush your hair. We're going to take a picture. So he came, he took a picture of everyone. Printed out the pictures. He will host parties upstairs. And he will put the pictures of the children, the young girls, on the wall. And during the party, you know, they had drugs, alcohol, anything. Little perverts, little fucking scumbags will go and pick, oh, I want that one. Just pick our picture off the wall. Oh, I want that one. Oh, I want that one. Or I want both of these. And he will come down and escort us from downstairs up into the party to where the activities were. And one of us, the youngest one, she got picked a lot. But she got exposed to drugs, and at the end she ended up staying because of the trauma that she that's all she knew. So that she ended up staying when we all fled.
And she was probably hooked on drugs,
Yeah.
right? How old was she?
She had to be like 8, 9. She was young.
Oh my gosh.
But something about African American children I noticed, we develop a little bit sooner. I don't know what the hell that is because my 9-year-old's huge. And you know, we had what they will call grown woman features, you know, like our secondary sex characteristics already started to develop. So, you know, we had the armpit hair, body hair, but then the first would start to come in, you know, the breasts, the hips. So all these girls, you know, they were shapely little girls. Ew, I feel so bad saying that. So nobody seemed to question the fact that we were minors because of what our physical appearance looked like. So they would just go up.
Yeah, but you weren't looking 8 and 9-year-old. I mean,
in the face.
Albeit developed, you're not looking like
No.
you're 18, 19, 20.
No.
And
that's true. That's true too. That's true. Oh
perverts.
yeah. So you know, because in the face you see a child. I look at my 9-year-old.
She's
That's a child. I look at her. You a little girl. Girl, if you don't go sit your little tiny ass there.
Yeah, no, I've
You
seen her.
kid.
She's darling. She's a little girl.
I was like, that's a little girl. And then she looks like me a lot. So then I was like, dang, like my daughter Zion looked just like me when I was little. And I'm like, dang, like I looked like that. And you could see. I can see
Yeah.
myself, and I could see when I was her age.
Did that trip you out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of issues because before I really start healing from the trauma, there were certain things I would get triggered by really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it's just her being a little kid that don't know. But because of the abuse that I faced, I would mirror that trauma or that response onto her. And I didn't know that at the time. So like, it was this one time she was playing and her skirt, she was hanging upside down on like a ottoman. And I like threw her legs and flipped her over because she was hanging upside down on the ottoman because her underwear is exposed and there was boys around. I was like, don't do that. And then somebody pulled me to the side. They said, Tiffany, that's your trauma. She said, you're going to need help for that. She said, that's your trauma. You don't realize what you just did to your little girl because you were so traumatized at that age. I said, that's true. But anyway, so.
All right, so they'd pick these girls. Mm-hmm. We could talk about 1,000 things that you just said, but they picked these girls off the wall. Mm-hmm. And you said the youngest one would get picked the most?
Yeah. And then it will be another girl, and then I was the third runner-up because that's what he used to put us. He used to give us ranking. Imagine how sick that was. He used to give us ranking. Like, oh, this is my number 1 seller. This is the second best, and this is the third. I remember that. Like, he used to put like
it was a competition.
Yeah.
For how many guys?
Yeah, and then you know, if you turn as many dates as possible, you would have better experiences. You know, you'll be able to go get your hair done. You'll be able to have better food. You'll be able to get better clothes because you know you earned it. Because you know you done turned 15 dates in a day. The little 9-year-old, she was like 15, 16 of them a day, and it was just a revolving door of Johns too. I don't know what the fuck. Like, what you doing? Making multiple ads on Craigslist? Are you telling a friend that tell a friend?
And this was a house in California City, and you guys are in the basement.
And we are in the basement.
And there's how many of you girls?
About 6.
And are they all African American?
Nope. We had 3 black, 1 Hispanic, an Asian. The fuck you get the Asian from?
They find them everywhere, Tiffany.
That's so strange.
You're so funny.
We don't even see them in like juvenile hall group homes like that or foster care like that. Where did you come from? Who did you run away from? Anyway.
Well, that happens in their community too.
And then a white girl.
And a white girl.
And a white girl. No, white girl, they loved the white girl. She was cute. She was a cute little girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, pretty little white girl.
How old was the little white girl?
Like 10.
How about the Asian girl?
Like 12.
And all the other little black girls? How old were they?
We were in the 9, 12, 13, 12, and like 11. So we were all under the age of 15.
Okay, so you were all under 15.
We were all under 15. And D, she didn't stay down there in the basement with us, but she would make 7, right? She was actually allowed to stay on the top floor because, at the end of the day, that was his niece.
Okay, so the niece who had got you into this whole mess was...
Kind of like the bottom.
Oh, when you say the bottom, you mean what, the bottom bitch?
Yeah, she's like the bottom bitch.
What is, for our listeners, what is the bottom bitch?
The bottom bitch is like the number one hoe. Like, sorry, y'all. It made me laugh because I never said it like that. It's like the number one. It's like the one that tells the other ones what to do. The bottom is the bottom's the one that keeps the other girls in line.
Well, why don't they call him the top bitch?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any
because
sense.
They say that's the bottom because they've been there since the bottom.
Oh,
Like they stay down
from the
since the
beginning
bottom.
of time.
From the
I got
beginning.
you.
So now you've been there from the bottom. You my bottom bitch. First of all, there's girls that will fight you for those titles.
Oh my gosh.
Like imagine being like, no, I earned this bottom bitch. Like, girl, bye. There's better aspirations in life.
100%.
100%. There's better options in life than that. So, one day there was a house party, and sometimes the house parties were so big he would bring us all up. So I was like,
Bring you up to mingle with all the
to
guys.
mingle with all the guys.
The giant Johns.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about these Johns.
Okay, so from what I remember, race, nationality did not matter. Age did not matter. You had some as young as like 16 and some as old as, no, I have had a lot of young buyers, a lot of young Johns. Look, people don't talk about it. The young boys are with it because they buy them. Anyway, down to like the old sleazy kind. I remember one, first of all, sir, you are in a walker.
You're like, what?
I mean, he was old, man. He was like, had to be like 80, 90 on with a walker. And he takes his Viagra. I was like, don't you look like you on heart meds? What are you doing?
You might break a hip or something.
Yeah. Like, what are you trying to, sir, you're old. Where's your wife? Where's your grandkids? Don't you got grandkids my age? Anyway, so they all came from all different walks of life. And the California City Police Department, he had a couple of friends there too. So even if people were to make reports and stuff, it doesn't matter because he had ties with these people. And we went up to the house party and there was music everywhere and there was like multiple, like, there was the living room, the kitchen, and then you hit the corner. It's the wrong way. You hit the corner and then you run into like a hallway with the bedrooms. And you would rent out the bedroom. You pick the girls. So, they give us alcohol. They give us drugs, weed, whatever we needed to kind of cut loose, as he said. And then, the party will continue. They'll rent out the back room. So, like, let's say you wanted 30 minutes in the back room. Since we were all on the floor and everybody was working, in this particular situation, it wasn't for the girls. So, let's say you're doing a blowjob, and the blowjob was like $120 for bareback, $100.
What does bareback mean?
Raw.
Like no condom.
No condom. Sorry, I'm like raw. No condom.
I got you.
Versus, let's say.
So they pay more for no condom.
Yeah. So, like, let's say you do like Greek. Greek is anal. It'll be like Greek bareback will be like $500.
Okay.
Versus, Greek protection would be like
$300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then if it was like vaginal, he would do like vaginal raw $250. And then vaginal, because for some odd reason booty hole was worth more than coochie. Anyway, and then he would do vaginal protection like $150. It was weird. Yeah, just weird prices, like foot jobs.
What's a foot job?
When you jerk somebody off with your feet.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah, that
seems easier than the other things you've been talking about.
I didn't mind doing those.
Not gonna lie. I'd be like, I'm foot job only.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, we also had pictures of other body parts. So like, sorry, going back to the pictures of the face, there's pictures of other body parts. Pictures of the breast.
What does that mean? Oh, on the wall?
Yeah. So like, it was your picture and then your other body parts.
Are you serious?
That's so serious.
Hanging on the wall?
Yeah. So it would be like pictures of your face, and then it would be pictures of your breasts, and it'd be pictures of your...
If you want to donate some gasoline and matches to our cause to go to California City and burn all of these people alive, we're taking donations. Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
Yes. And
I mean, like what you've been talking about isn't horrible enough, but like for real.
I forgot. I didn't tell you that at lunch because I didn't tell you all the details.
No, I haven't heard half of this, and I'm just like
I didn't
blown
tell you all
away.
the details. I was like,
And I got to tell you, like, I don't think that most of our listeners get the real, not to use the word raw again, but you know what I'm saying? Like the nitty gritty of what's really happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know we're laughing, but we're laughing.
It's very serious. You guys.
It's very serious, and we're laughing because you got to laugh about this.
You gotta laugh
Otherwise,
about it,
we
cry.
cry, right?
Yeah.
We cry, and
some-
I have the
I'd
same
rather
gallows
laugh.
humor you do too. I'd rather laugh about it too.
Yeah.
We know
I
it's not
cried
funny,
enough.
but yeah. Okay, so this is crazy. Okay, so foot jobs. What other kind of? What else is there? I don't know.
So
about?
there was blow jobs, anal, vaginal, foot jobs, squishing, urination.
What's squishing?
When you like suffocate somebody with your butt.
Oh my God.
I hate explaining that.
No,
one.
I'm sorry. If you don't want to, if you want me to
That
cut
one-
some of
no,
this
that's
out,
fine. That's fine. It's just explain it
you
sounds
squish them
weird.
with your butt.
Yeah, so like let's say like a guy's
Like
laying
you
down.
sit on their face.
Yeah, but you're not putting your vagina in their face. You're kind of like putting your legs in your butt so they can be squished. Then you also
Dude, there are some weird.
yeah, and mind you, we had to be trained for this.
Who's doing the training for the squishing?
D.
Oh, D.
Mm-hmm. She's the one that
The
trained
bottom
us.
bitch
Yeah, the
is
bottom bitch is
teaching
teaching
the
us the
squishing.
services.
Oh, I didn't me. I didn't me.
Yeah. So
That's my husband's line.
Let's see what else. Okay, that. BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
But the BDSM will be performed on us, not to us. So we want to do dominatrix work. There was men that were into like suffocating and gagging, so that they'll strangle you, and then they'll take their hands and shove it down your throat, while they'll strangle you until you start turning pink or blue, because that's what they're into. They also had dudes that was into humiliation. I remember this one time, he was like, this guy, he's like, you're a 13-year-old whore, yada yada yada, and I'm like. And he just sat there.
You're like, do you realize the
you realize your
hypocrisy?
pain?
Do you realize the hypocrisy of this? You are beating and suffocating or whatever, strangling a 13-year-old, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right? And you're calling me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tiffany.
Yeah. When I said I'd experienced some wild shit.
I'll say
Some stuff still haunt me to this day. Like there's not enough therapy in the world that will get rid of some of these memories.
I honestly am just I'm laughing, but I want to cry.
Yeah.
I want to cry for you.
Oh, it's
For
okay.
your little girl. For you. Not your little girl.
No, but my
you.
little girl, little
Your-
Tiff. I call her Little Tiff because she's
Little-
still here.
Little Tiff is still here.
Little Tiff
I
still
want to cry
here.
for little Tiff.
Yeah,
I
little
want to
Tiff.
hold her.
Yeah, because she didn't deserve that.
No.
People don't understand. Kids don't.
They don't understand.
Not
I
even
don't.
grown women.
I know this is hard for a lot of people to hear. Like my producer has left the room. He's like, "Oh my god."
Oh, you exited
He's
stage
like, "I
right.
gotta leave. I can't hear this. I think it's too much to bear sometimes."
Yeah.
No, it is. But I do think it's fascinating, and I want people. I'm not trying to. I think there was some word somebody said about when you're asking survivors about their trauma, like. I'm not trying to re-traumatize you.
Oh no, it's okay. I had to retraumatize myself in therapy. When I say I have been to an extensive therapy, I have been to psychiatric shrink. I have been under hypnosis. I've had to pull out memories and relive it just to be able to heal from it. I'm talking about to the where I used to have night terrors and night sweats. It was points where I could even look at myself and not cry because I was so broken because of what other people did to me. So now though, hold on. This is why I didn't wear mascara. I was like, hold on.
Love you. I freaking
This is
love
why
you.
I
You're
did
gonna
not
be my
do the
new
bottom.
best friend, Tiffany.
But it's to the point where I have learned how to speak about it without being hurt. I've learned how to laugh about it without being hurt. And that's only because God made it so my heart healed. And I actually have
Amen.
sympathy and forgiveness for these people. I don't hate none of them. The only thing I wish is that they get help. And I wish that they see the error of their ways and that God will...
Tiffany, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as evolved as you. I kind of hate them. I kind of hate them. I do.
You
I'm
know
sorry.
what? I
I'll hate them
understand
for you.
why. Yeah. Because you can't do that to kids.
No.
Those are God's
children.
children.
We're all God's children, and they're God's children, and how they have fallen astray and gotten
sometimes-
the devil's gotten a stronghold on their
Yeah, I
hearts.
was like, sometimes we born God children, but then we become devil's playmate.
Amen.
And that's what I say. Like, we will be born God's children, but some people becomes devil's playmate, and there's nothing we can do about that.
No truer words have ever been spoken to me.
I was like, and that's just what it is.
All right, so all these horrible things are happening, all this money and that you're not seeing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, because I still want my money.
Yeah, where's my money?
want my
I
money.
have that.
I
I
don't care.
just squish that guy in my butt cheeks. I want my money. You see that old man in the walker?
Yeah.
Like, you deserve some
I
money.
want my money. Where's my money?
Okay, so all this happens. Tell me about that night. You get called out. You're going upstairs.
And everybody's partying, okay? And when I say there was coke on the table, there was weed. I think somebody did heroin. I know they were smoking meth in the bathroom. Who the fuck? Anyway, so everybody's lit at this point. And the uncle, he was so intoxicated. He put us all back downstairs, but he didn't close the door. But I knew, something told me, and the God himself told me, this isn't going to be your chance to leave. Earlier that day, you're going to be able to get out of here today. And I was like, cool. Say less. I'm going to look for my opportunity. He left that door open. And I remember I looked at the girls and I said, look, it's quiet. The house is still. You can hear a pin drop. The house is so still. The party is over. It's almost the break of dawn. And I looked at the girls. I said, it's our time. We can leave now. I ended up taking, I want to say 4. Damn. Yeah, I ended up taking about 4. 2 stayed. And the 2 that stayed, that's because of the heavy drugs. And they felt like that was the best their life could be. You know, some people become hopeless, and they were hopeless. So me and the other girls, we went on a dash, and we ran. And I just remember, first of all, I'm not no track star, and I still don't run to this day. But that day, I ran about 3 miles. You want to talk about endurance? I had endurance, and all we did was run. We just kept running. And then we finally made it. Sun was up, and we finally made it to a public place. And I called my guardianship mom, and I was like, I'm ready to be turned into juvenile hall because I don't want to be with you either. And I'm ready to get turned away to juvenile hall. Please just pick me. And then I got to the train, and I went to the train station, and she picked me up from there and drove me to Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. And then that's when I went into the group home, and I was already on probation for running away and for a couple of other crimes. That would not be mentioned, for a couple of other crimes at the time. And I spent my teenage years from 13 to about 17 and a half years old at Crediton Youth Family Services in Fullerton. From there, though, nobody knew about the human trafficking aspect of my life. I finally told Jim, and anyway, I finally told Jim, and he's like, "Oh, you're a C-Sec girl." So they took me back to Compton Courthouse, and they told my judge, which is Judge Pratt, love her, that I was a C-Sec case. And from there, she was like, "Okay, we're going to do special things for you." They took me to Washington, D.C. to learn how to speak publicly, to learn how to tell my story in a healthy way. They took me to Disney World, okay? We went to all these fun places.
I'm guessing they didn't coach you to talk about the squishing.
No. They was just like...
They're like, ixnay on the ishy squash.
Yeah, they was like, ixnay on the behaviors, okay? Don't...
Well, we're not talking about that.
No,
Just
not
say that you were kidnapped and that you were made to do bad things.
And that's it. Don't go into detail, Tiff. And that's literally what they told me. It's like, don't go into detail, Tiff. Not too much now. And I remember it was one of the staff there. She's like, yeah, you can't go into detail because you're gonna scare the shit out them people.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. You probably scared you scared Pete.
Poor guy.
He's back, but oh my God, he had to go have a cocktail. He doesn't even drink. He's drunk now, though. Finish the story.
Yeah. He's like, because my ears, they burn. So Crediton taught me how to speak and really how to advocate for myself. And after that, I didn't experience no more human trafficking. So after that, no more human trafficking for me.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Yes,
this is great.
Okay,
I don't know what it was.
Because I did end up doing some renegade work. And this is only because once you're exposed...
You mean with no pimp?
With no pimp.
Okay.
So renegading means that you are prostituting yourself
Okay.
But you are also getting I was an adult. Okay. I wasn't a kid no more. I was 18. Okay.
Okay.
And that's because I was in foster care. And when I turned 18, foster care kicked me to the streets. I had no place to go.
You were homeless.
I was homeless on Skid Row at that. Okay. So I was in the worst possible situation. I didn't have no job. I didn't have no ID. All I had was a high school diploma and a bag of clothes. So at that point, what do you do?
And you got the high school diploma while you were in juvie?
No, I got the high school diploma at Crennington.
Oh, at Crennington.
Yeah.
What is Crennington?
Crennington Youth Family Services. It's a group home. Level 12 group home, completely locked down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were there for a long time.
I was there for about 5 years.
Okay. And that's where you got your high school diploma. Good for you.
I graduated.
I'm proud of you.
I got all my credits, even the ones that I was missing. I catched up on the education I was lacking. I remember with this 1 year, I was so determined to graduate, you guys. I did 60 units in 3 months. I promise. 60 units in 3 months.
So proud of you.
Yeah, and then I did ROTC. I was on the dance team. I did everything. It was cool. I was campus president.
Oh,
It was so much fun. I was like, yay.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I remember my campaign picture was me outside the White House because they took me to Washington, D.C. It was great. And but at 18, I went back to Gardena because it was a law that got passed. It was AB 12. No, AB 167. AB 167 said that if you were in foster care and you were able to graduate with 200 units instead of I think it was like 236, because it was impossible for you to graduate on time due to moving. So then I looked at Crennington. I said, I got to move to Gardena. I wish I never did that. Anyway, I got to move to Gardena. And I went to Gardena High School and I graduated because I transferred in my senior year. And that's how I ended up finagling my high school diploma to graduate on time. Listen, I was determined. But due to that, I did have to go put myself into self-prostitution, I guess.
Okay.
And I did that for a couple of months and then I fell pregnant. I had a boyfriend. So the boyfriend made me stop doing it. But then the little piece of shit was like, oh, if you're going to prostitute yourself, you should let me protect you. No, bitch. You want to be my pimp. Anyway. Sorry.
So he turned into your pimp?
No, he wanted to be.
Oh, okay.
But then I was just like, I'll just stop in general. Because I ain't giving nobody my money.
Okay.
At that point.
Well, good. I'm glad he said that because then you
yeah, because I already knew what it was. Because I was like, no, I know what that is. So like,
it's got to be hard, Tiffany, to have to know that within a very short period of time, because it doesn't sound like any of these guys hiring you can last that long, right? That like you can make a substantial amount of money, albeit give away a piece of yourself.
Yes.
Okay. But to then go and try to make a living making, $8 an hour, $9 an hour, however much then, even now, minimum wage, $20 an hour, when you can make, 300, 500, whatever it is, a couple $100 given a foot job. Yeah. Right. So that's got to be a hard thing and then after taxes, that's like per hour, but then pay taxes and to work an 8-hour shift, right? Yeah.
Versus I can go and I can turn the fast money. That's what I call it. It's called fast money.
Fast money.
And the reason why you will see a lot of people stay in the game is because of the fast money. Minimum wage and the cost of living don't make sense. So you work, let's say, so I have a job, I'm a CNA, and I work 7 hours a day, and I make $161 at $23 an hour. $161. I could make that in 30 minutes with one phone call and one Craigslist ad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And okay, not Craigslist. They shut that down. And Backpage, they shut that down too. But
that's where you used to buy them, Craigslist and Backpage, right?
Craigslist and Backpage.
It's all over. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
But there's
now.
other ways now too. We talk about that off camera because they're gonna be mad at me if any.
No,
current
we're not
workers,
promoting it. We're not.
If any current workers hear me, they're gonna be like, "Dang, girl, you just dropping all the tea. That's how we get our money." You're right, sis. I'm gonna let you live. But knowing that you could technically make $160 in 30 minutes versus working a whole shift.
Right.
So it's just like people are addicted to that fast money, and that's what keep people in the game.
100%.
100%. Because, in a day, you can turn 3 Johns, give you a good hour and 30 minutes of your time, and you can make $1,000 if you know what you're doing.
Right.
And that's it. And that's all.
But the cost of that.
Is your soul.
The cost of that is your soul.
It's your soul. I don't care. People's like, well, it's my body. No, it's your soul. Every time you do it, you lose a part of yourself. Every time you do it, you get farther away from God. Every time you do it, you become more sick with yourself. I remember just feeling disgusted with myself. And I lost a piece of my soul every single time.
But Tiffany, you gotta come back to the basics of that. Like, you weren't a little girl at 6 years old and thinking, I want to be a prostitute so I can make fast money.
No, I want to be a makeup artist.
Right? Which leads us to our next thing. Okay, so you got out and now you have these 2 beautiful children. You got a nice boyfriend. I vetted him.
Yeah.
Not a pimp, good guy.
Mm-hmm. He's so sweet.
He's so sweet. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you're trying and you are successfully making a living outside of the life. Mm-hmm. That's what they call it, the life. And let's promote that right now, okay? So that people listening, and because I want to support you and encourage what you're doing and get as many people to buy your products, because a portion of your proceeds, I know right now it's 5% of the proceeds go back to anti-human trafficking missions and organizations. Yes. And your goal is to get 50% of all the proceeds from your products to go back to anti-human trafficking. So girls, just like you, right, that there's people out there that'll fight up, rise up against and try to put an end to this horrible, horrible epidemic. And we need to stop the traffickers and we need to stop the men who are purchasing women. It's disgusting and despicable, and you're taking little kids' souls with you, so stop it.
Yes. And we are not for sale.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, my pussy don't got a barcode, so.
Right? Not for sale.
Sorry. Don't.
And so, okay. Tiffany, you're raw. You're wild. Okay. And that's the name of her company. Let's talk about that. Fearless Beauty. Mm-hmm. Fearless Beauty. And where can we find these fabulous products? I want to tell you about the products. She has hairspray, hydrating leave-in conditioners, sculpting mousses, comforting shampoo.
If you got dandruff.
Right? If you have a little dandruff.
A little itchy scalp.
I'll take 2 of those. Turmeric and honey body scrub. I bought this one. I love it. It's fantastic. What is these? Strawberry cloud. Is this body lotion? She's got body lotions. Oh, I special ordered this rosemary body lotion. Rosemary
like
vanilla.
That was different for me to make.
I haven't used this one. I used the one with vanilla. Love it. Love it. This was an extra that I haven't gotten to yet. Tropical pomegranate body wash. Mm-hmm. She's got body wash.
And that's body butter.
And
that's
body
labeled.
Butter. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Which make your skin really nice, not ashy, right? And lots of different products that you can find on her website. Tiffany, tell us where we can buy all these products that not only support you in your business, but also 5% of the proceeds go back to anti-human trafficking. Tell us the website. Give us the information.
So that information will be, our website is fearlessbeauty.shop. Because .com was taken. Fearlessbeauty.shop. All of our products are 100% natural. They're vegan. There's no pesticides There's no parables or sulfites in them, so it will not cause irritation to your scalp, especially the hair care. The skincare is formulated for everyone. We did not discriminate, so we can.
So it's for white people too.
Yeah, white, Asian, unicorn, black. It don't really matter.
I love you.
It is our products were really made with the consumer in mind, because I have noticed that when we go out to buy hair care products, we're buying not 1 but 9. Okay, it really has to stop. Like, why do we have to have 6 different shampoos depending on how our hair feels that day? That drives me nuts. Okay, and why is it that even though we use specialized shampoo, we're not seeing results? Like, let's say you have dandruff and then you're using Head and Shoulders, but then you notice that your head and your shoulders are still flaking. We should not experience that. So I try to make it so it's as universally as possible, with also regrowth rates. We are looking for hair retention and length retention in all products. So we did focus on that when it comes to hair care. And our skincare is just natural and vegan. So anything that's in our scary care, you can literally buy it at your local grocery store, you guys. Okay, there's no more questionable stuff that you cannot spell and or pronounce in your skincare.
All right. So where can they find these fabulous products?
Fearlessbeauty.shop.
Fearlessbeauty.shop. If you want to support Tiffany and her amazing company, Fearless Beauty, and everything she's doing to try to promote hair growth and hair care and body lotion, then please go and buy her stuff. I use it personally. I love it. I think it's amazing. I've been using the leave-in conditioner and I love it. It makes my hair super soft and not like oily. It doesn't weigh it down. It's amazing. And you're also starting beauty school, right?
Yes.
You're going to cosmetology school.
Yes.
And I'm super proud of you. I think you're going to do amazing things. And I'm going to have you do my hair and makeup. I think she might be my new makeup artist for the show.
I love making people feel beautiful.
Well, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
There's no better person to make other people feel beautiful.
Yes, because I'm making a whole bunch of fearless beauties in this world. You know, fearless beauty is not a brand, it's a person.
It is a person.
It's a person.
Fearless beauty's not a brand, it's a person. Oh, we got to use that clip.
And everybody is a fearless beauty because everybody has seen or been through something that traumatized us. But then we still move forward fearlessly. And we are not a brand, and we are a person. So anybody that uses fearless beauty is a fearless beauty. Mm-hmm.
I love you, Tiffany. I couldn't even end this episode on a better note. You're amazing. I can't even thank you enough for sharing all the insights and the story that you just shared with our listeners.
Sorry, you guys, it was a little raunchy.
No, you know what?
It's honest.
You know what it was? You were authentic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I fell in love with you, right? Is the authenticity. You got to be real. You got to keep it real. For reals. I say for reals all the time. For reals. You this was a very, very genuine and authentic conversation about what happened to you. And we can't take that away from you. And wrap it in a pretty bow because it's not pretty what happened to you. It was probably the darkest story that I've heard in a very, very long time. And I've heard some dark things, Tiffany.
Sorry.
And no, but like you being here and the light that you shine in the midst of this dark story is what inspires me. And I hope will inspire other people that no matter what you've been through, like Tiffany is a shining example of how bright your light can shine even in the darkest places. Yes. You are truly an amazing, amazing human being. I know I can see that God's touched your heart and your life, that you've been able to forgive these monsters. I haven't yet. I'm working on it. So pray for me, but pray for Tiffany. Right? Like lift her up in prayer because you're doing amazing things. And I think you're going to be amazing, makeup artist and hairstylist. I'm super excited for you to do your studies for that profession. And I just love you. And I think you're wonderful. And I'm going to keep on buying your Fearless Beauty products. And I want all of you to. And thank you again. Your story is amazing and fascinating, and how you've really, truly gone from a victim to a survivor is inspiring and amazing. And thank you, and God bless you, honey.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
No, this was so fun. We're gonna have to come back again and talk some smack about all those people that were purchasing you.
Yeah, because I know some stuff, you guys.
Yeah, you better watch out. Don't say that. You'll get whacked on the way home.
So you got to catch me first.
Right? Exactly.
I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in this thing.
On your way home from Temecula, where I live.
Yeah. Catch me if you can.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's a wrap. We're getting crazy here. Anyway, that's a wrap for today. Please, if you want to support Tiffany's amazing company, Fearless Beauty, at what's it called again? One more time?
fearlessbeauty.shop.
fearlessbeauty.shop. And until we meet again, if you can't find the light, be the light like Tiffany right here. Have a great time, and we'll see you next time. Until we meet again.
Be the light, shine so